Hey guys, just a pretty short and sweet one on this video, but a tip that I think is really important and a piece of advice that might be worth trying out. Now, if you're pretty close to the end of a mix, say you're like 95% of the way there, feel like it's getting pretty close, you might want to try this out. Now, what I'm going to suggest is putting a limiter on your mix bus and just start pushing into it about 3 to 4 dBs of gain reduction. Now, the reason we do this is so that we can hear what the mix is going to sound like closer to after what it's mastered, because when you master a track, you push it into a limiter to get a bit of extra volume and things can start to sound a little different, as they do when you compress something. So the main things that you tend to find when you put a limiter on the mix is effects and stuff start to show up a bit more. So like reverb on vocals or like reverb on the drums, like delays and effects like that, they can become a bit more prominent. So this is a great chance to put the limiter on, hear if that stuff is sitting well, or if you need to back it off. Say like your drums, say you're compressing your drums really hard and you're annihilating the attack on your drums, but once you push that into the limiter, everything starts to sound really squashed. Maybe you need to go back to your drums and not compress them as hard, or like give them a bit of a slower attack to let the transient through, because that stuff's going to get cut down a little bit by the limiter on the mix bus. So just things that might need balancing out a little bit better, but you can get that bigger picture by having the limiter on the mix bus. So what I would suggest, say like I like to use Pro L2 a lot from FabFilter. In this section down the bottom here, click on the 1-to-1, and that's just going to make sure that you're not hearing any volume difference of the amount of gain that you're pushing into the limiter, but you'll hear what the limiting is doing to the mix. So for example, what I'm working on sounds like this. And so that little bit of extra gain reduction that I'm doing there, the limiter, lets me address any of those issues that I mentioned before, and I can then be happier at the end of this. Say if I was going to send it off to a mastering engineer, or when I come back and master this later, I'm going to know that I have dealt with all those little issues that I want to deal with before the mastering stage. So I hope you guys found that useful. Make sure you give it a try. Let me know if it works out for you, or if you already do this while you're mixing. But yeah, definitely close towards the end of the mix, put a limiter on, see how it's starting to sound. If it's sounding good, great job. If it needs a bit of tweaking, get in there and make those little adjustments to make it sound nice once that limiter's on the mix. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when these videos are dropped, and I will see you guys in the next one.